Okay, here we are again, and this time we're going to be looking at how to add an asset via a purchase. So I'm back at the asset register we just signed off from. We've got our new photocopier and our new printing machine, as well as our existing assets. So now I want to add a new asset. So I'm going to go to business, this time, and I'm going to record a purchase. So I'm going to go to purchases overview and new purchase. Let's say we've just bought a motor vehicle. So we've bought it from, what's in my area, Fentry Gully Holden. We've bought it 15th July 2019. We've probably paid it on the spot. If we have a reference, we might have an invoice number from Holden. Doesn't really matter. I won't pop the total in yet, I'll go through as I do this here. We've purchased a motor vehicle and there is GST attached to the motor vehicle, so I'm going to leave this as tax inclusive. Remember, if we're not recording inventory, we don't need to enter anything into the item, so I'm just going to go to the description. So let's say I've bought a Holden Cruise. I've purchased one of the Holdens, I don't know, 45,000 for the sake of the exercise. Tax inclusive. So what account am I going to allocate my asset to is to the motor vehicle asset account. If you can't remember the number, just start typing the name. It's not an expense. So this is the asset account. GST 45,000, and you'll note down the bottom here then it's divided by 11 to say 1/11th is GST. That means the balance, the difference between the 45 and that, so the 41,000, etc., will actually get allocated to the motor vehicle account. When we buy a motor vehicle, we know we generally have dealer charges. So let's just say there was some dealer charges. They might be $1,500. They're part of the asset cost. So they're going to go to $740 GST on our dealer charges. We might have also had some optional extras. Let's just say I've had, metallic paint, some extra wheels. So I'll just say as general optional extras. Not going to itemize them here. They might have cost me $5,500 as well. And you can see each time the GST is increasing. Total purchase price 52, of which 47 is GST. Probably had to pay some stamp duty as well. That might have been, I don't know, let's just say that was $1,300. It's part of the cost of the vehicle. There's no GST on stamp duty, so remember to change this to GST free expenses. And then lastly, generally when we buy a motor vehicle, we have to pay for registration at the same time. Registration. Sorry, I can't get that typed correctly for some reason. Now remember, again, back to your manual learning, part of the capital costs are all those items that are part of the vehicle and which are going to be depreciated over the life of the vehicle. The registration is what we call a recurring cost. That is, each year it's going to be expended again, so it's not part of the capital cost, so it needs to go to motor vehicle expenses. $770. This time, whoops, now I've lost it. This time it's going to the motor vehicle expense account. There may or may not be GST on that. For the purpose of the exercise, I'm going to leave it as GST on expenses. You would need to look at the paperwork to determine that. So I'm going to record or approve this invoice. And by doing that, I'll have an invoice in the system which is $54,070 and which I have to record a payment to Fentry Gully Holden for. I'm not going to go through that process here. That would have been covered when you did your authorise and evaluate payments unit. So my bill's been approved. If I go back to my purchases overview and I see bills, awaiting payment, if I click on there, there's a number there that are actually awaiting payment, and my Fentry Gully Holden one is down here at the bottom. And at some time, if I wanted to pay it, I would come back in here and do that. But for now, I want to show you what happens. Because I've recorded a bill and I've allocated something to an asset account, the system immediately recognises that and go, oh, that's a new asset. So if I now go to accounting, fixed assets, you'll actually see I'm on the draft tab. Registered was the ones that we did previously and those that were already there. On the draft tab, the system has automatically picked up those items which are allocated to the motor vehicle asset account, and it's created assets for all of them. Now this is where the trick lies in this. You can see it's created a separate asset for each one. We could actually leave all those separate assets like that and each one would be individually depreciated. It would work, there's nothing wrong with that, but it could be a little bit messy. Or the other way to do it would be to determine what the total value is, which we would have from our invoice that's in front of us when we're working, and we would just edit perhaps the original entry with the total value and then delete these other ones. So I'm just going to do a bit of a calculation here. Let me get up my calculator. That's just jumped over to another screen. 40,909. And now these are strange amounts because they don't have the GST in them. 1,300, 5,000, 1,363 and 64. So the total purchase price is 48,572 and 73. Now I'm going to click in here, and to edit this I need to click on the fixed asset number. Holden Cruise, fixed asset number, purchased it on the 5th of July. I'm going to change the total purchase price to 48,572.73. 15th of July 2024. Serial number in this case would often be our registration number, so it might be 1MN with our funny numbers that we have at the minute, 6XY. Asset type, motor vehicle. I won't worry about the region, so you can see it's picked this up automatically. Description, it's pretty self-explanatory, I'm not going to worry about that. We've started using the motor vehicle straight away, so I'm going to start depreciating it from 15th of July. It's a motor vehicle. I think we'd probably go with straight line, 25% let's say, just for the purpose of the exercise. And so I could put in the description, new Holden including dealer charges, stamp duty and extras, and we might list what the extras are. Let's say, what did I say, metallic paint, mag wheels, that'll do for now, and whatever else. So I've now recorded the full value. I'm going to click register. There's my motor vehicle. I'm going to come back to draft and I'm actually going to get rid of these ones. Select all three of them and go delete and delete. So let's do that again for another asset, business, purchases overview, new purchase or a new bill. This time I've bought it from PC, printing. I've bought it today, paid for it, not going to pay it till the end of the month. Reference was PC 456. Again, I'm not going to worry about the total, tax inclusive, and I have bought let's just say I bought another photocopier just for the purpose of the exercise. This time it's a great big one. I haven't got any optional extras. It's a $7,500 photocopier. Whoops. It's going to go to my office equipment account. GST, $7,500. So you can see 681 is going to GST, 7.5 less 681, whatever the difference is. We'll see that in a minute. Prove the invoice. Up to accounting, fixed assets, I've now got another draft, which is a photocopier. Click on there on the asset number to bring up the asset in the register. Photocopier, purchase date, purchase price, 24th of the 10th, 2020. I've got a 1-year warranty on that one. Photocopier X23. Again, in here I'm going to allocate it to office equipment. We know we've already allocated it to that account. Our depreciation accounts, depreciation can start from today, 40% the same as the other one, and register. So by recording the purchase first, it's already in the general ledger system. It's a one-step process because then it already falls automatically into our asset register as a draft based on the fact that we've allocated something to an asset account, and we can just go in and either accept the entry, or as with the motor vehicle, we might make a few adjustments. And so now you can see we've got an asset register with the new Holden, with the new photocopier, the printing machine and the photocopier that we purchased, we registered last time, and our original ones. Now remember, we didn't actually do purchases for these, so what we'd need to do at this point is just go in and record the purchase for that. So let me just do the purchase for one of these and show you what's going to happen. Printing machine at 30,000. Purchases overview, new. I think I bought that from XYZ company. First of October, due date 31st of October. Don't know what the total is. Tax inclusive. Description. Printing machine. One of them, if it was 30,000, then the GST amount, or the GST inclusive amount, must have been 33. That went to the machinery account. GST 33. I'm going to record this, or approve it I should say. Okay, now it's in the asset register. I already recorded it in the asset register. I've recorded the invoice. The problem with that is when I go to fixed assets and I go to draft, it's created yet another entry, even though I've already recorded the printing machine earlier. So as you can see, I need to delete this because I don't need to record it twice. It actually makes more sense to do the purchase first and then update your asset register. So I'll leave you with that for now. Go off and have a practice again in your demo company. In the next video, we'll have a look at how to run the depreciation reports. That's all for now.